Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Tom. I'm here today with another book break. Today I wanted to share with you a book that I've been reading. It's called A Good Kind of Trouble. Now, this is a Caudle book. It is on this year's Caudle list. The author is Lisa Moore Ramée, and this is a picture of her in the back. I love it when they give us a picture of the author. And now this is a Caudle book, which means it's typically geared for like upper elementary students, middle school, and the main character is in middle school. Her name is Shay. She's a black girl. And the story starts with her kind of dealing with school issues, her classes, her friends, boys, and she's also thinking about going out for the track team. Now, in the background of all this, in the news in the story, unfortunately, a police officer has shot a black man who was walking to his car. And so a lot of people are thinking about that. That's part of the reason I wanted to share this story with you now. So I'm going to read a short chapter from this book. Now, obviously, Shay is a young black girl, and I'm neither of those things. But my job is to try to make you curious about the story. So when you read the book, you'll be able to hear Shay's voice in your head as you read the words. If you want to listen to the audiobook, that is read by a Broadway actress named Imani Parks, who will also do the story much more justice than I will. So I hope you'll bear with me as I read the story, okay? All right. Part of the reason we read books like this for me is, sometimes it's good to read books that are about people that are like you, right? Especially if you don't get to see a lot of people like you in TV shows and movies and other books. Now, I get to see people that look like me all the time in TV shows and movies and books. So I like to read books about people who are not like me so that I can learn more. All right, so I'm going to read a chapter from the book. It's actually chapter 11. Didn't want to start right at the start. I like this chapter. It's called Unpopular Opinions. All right, and so this is Shay telling you the story. For the first time, I wish we had to run the mile in PE. I need a good run to get rid of all the thoughts banging around in my head. I know it's not right for me to be jealous of Isabella, but I can't help it. Coach West does have us do some sprints, and that helps a little, even if I'm not one of the fastest kids. Not by a long shot. Carmetta is faster than everybody. I've never seen anyone move that fast in real life. It makes me think twice about joining the track team. What if everybody else can run fast like Carmetta? But toward the end of class, when Coach West tells everyone who's joining track to huddle up, I huddle. We'll have our first practice next Tuesday, okay? Make sure you tell your parents, guardians, grandparents, or whoever will be wondering where you are after school. If you don't have running clothes, your PE clothes will be fine. My ugly PE clothes will not be fine. I wonder if Mama will buy me running clothes. I sigh. Mama's not a big fan of buying me stuff she's not 100% sure I need. Yolanda and I rush to the locker room together. You should ask Coach West if you can be on the track team too, I say. Have you seen me run? Yolanda laughs. Today her hair is in two buns, one on either side of her head. Will you at least change seats with me in shop? I ask her. If she isn't willing to do track, maybe she'll at least do this one favor. She shrugs. Sure, she says. I don't care where I sit. Then we split up for our different rows. Once I'm changed back into my regular clothes, I can't wait for her. I have to run all the way across campus to get to English. When I get to class, I settle into my seat, breathing hard, like I just finished a race. Ms. Jacobs gives me a look like my heavy breathing is bothering her. And then she asks if anyone wants to share anything from their journals. No one does. I know I sure don't. Nobody? She asks, sounding disappointed. Afraid of what your friends might think? She writes a quote on the board. And it says, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Ralph Waldo Emerson. "What does that mean to you?" Ms. Jacob asks the class. I picture myself alone in the woods, lost and crying. You bet I don't say that. A skinny girl raises her hand. "To make up your own mind?" Someone else says, "Be a leader instead of a follower?" Ms. Jacob nods. "It's hard, but you can't always worry about what everyone else thinks. It's important to decide what you believe and stick with it." Emerson thought that was important, and he wasn't afraid to have unpopular opinions. I believe if he were alive now, he would be a strong supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. I believe if Emerson were alive now, Ms. Jacobs would want to marry him the way she talks about him all the time. "Emerson was black?" Jay Landis shouts, and Ms. Jacob narrows her eyes at him. "No, Jay, he was not." "Then why would he say only Black lives mattered?" "What do you think, Shayla?" Ms. Jacob asked me. I don't know." I squirm in my seat. Ms. Jacobs should really stop acting like just because I'm black, I'm the only one in class who has an opinion about black stuff. I don't know how to answer her. I mean, I know Black Lives Matter is about reminding people our lives count too, but some people take it wrong and think it means we are trying to say our lives matter more than theirs, or that only our lives matter. But Mama explained it to me. She said if you go to the doctor and told him you broke your arm, and he said, "Well, okay, let's put you in a full body cast," you'd say, "But doctor, only my arm is broken." Get it? So yeah, even though all your bones matter, you only need to fix the broken one. Mama said it a lot better. A boy in the back calls out, "My dad says saying Black Lives Matter is racist." I want to tell him his dad is an idiot, but I pinch my lips together and I don't say anything. The back of my neck gets so hot, I think I might burn right up. Ms. Jacobs rests a hand on my shoulder. I'm not sure if she guesses there's a whole pot of bubbling anger inside of me, and she's holding me down before I start something, or if she's telling me everything's okay. "Martin, if I tell you your life matters, do you think I'm saying nobody else's life in this class matters?" Ms. Jacobs' voice is calm and quiet. Martin shakes his head, but I can tell he still doesn't get it. I wonder if I should tell him Mama's bone story. "So when African Americans say Black Lives Matter, can you see how they aren't saying that other people's lives don't matter?" It takes Martin a minute, but he finally nods. I don't care. I still think his dad is a dummy. Someone in the back of the class, it sounds like Amy Teen, says, "But why are the protests so angry?" "You'd be angry too if people who look like you were getting shot for no reason," I say, sort of under my breath and sort of not, and then snap my mouth back closed. I don't know how those words sneaked out. It's like my mouth has a mind of its own. I hear some whispering behind me, but I don't look. Ms. Jacobs gives my shoulder a squeeze, but then she releases it. "Injustice usually makes people angry," she says. "Some people are confused about why businesses get vandalized in protests. That can seem wrong. But I'm not sure what is the right way to act if people in your community seem to be unfairly targeted by the police." Mama and Daddy don't want me watching the videos of black people getting shot or choked or beat up by police. But there's been so many of them, I can't help but see some. And I've seen videos of protests too, and sometimes they do get really loud and scary. Ms. Jacobs says, "I can't tell you what to think. I know in class and at home and with your friends, you will hear lots of different things. And some of those things will be right, and some will be wrong. You're going to have to use those brains of yours to figure out the difference. Really pay attention to what you're seeing and make up your own mind." I wish she would just tell Martin with a dumb dad that his father is wrong. Ms. Jacob hits her marker against her hand and stares at us for a second. Then she turns to the board and writes, "No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love." It takes her a while to write all those words, and no one makes a peep while she's writing. "Does anyone know who said that?" she asks us. "Barack Obama!" someone shouts. Well, he did tweet it, but he was quoting someone else. Ms. Jacob turns around and writes Nelson Mandela underneath the quote. Mandela was a brave man and a powerful leader, and he made me believe that it's possible for things to change. Ms. Jacob smiles, but I feel like her words are just for me. And now this is Shay writing in her own journal. "I can't wait to tell Daddy that Ms. Jacobs taught us something that wasn't from a dead white man's perspective. But I wish she'd stop acting like I'm the only one in class who would understand a black perspective. If I can understand a dead white man, then everyone else should be able to understand what someone black has to say." I also don't get why some people would think black people are against them when we're the ones getting shot. And that was chapter 11 from A Good Kind of Trouble. It's a Caudle book. Again, it's by Lisa Moore Ramey. And you can check this out with our curbside service. You can download the book. You can also download the audiobook. So hope you'll consider that and check that out. All right, and that's been Book Break for this time, and we'll see you again soon. Okay? Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.